as a contractor, I kind of have an eye for design. So one of the things that I do that's probably different from most investors is that I buy properties that are already trashed out. I mean, in other words, I buy this stuff that nobody wants. One of the benefits to that is that you can remodel it for what I call tenant-proof properties. In other words, you do the rehab, you put in the flooring and the painting and the lighting that will last for more than a cycle. And in a sense, what I mean by a cycle is a year lease. Um, One of the things I learned that if you have a property that is nice, clean, and in good condition, most of the time you're going to attract a better quality renter. And the beauty of it is that those renters will always pay you on time. And then on top of that, they'll stay there for 5, 10 years. I've had tenants in my properties that, I had one property that I had for 10 years and I had the same tenant, all because when they moved in, it was in pristine condition.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil. Today I'm joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Byron Posadas, who's been making serious moves in the real estate rental space. So really excited to have you on the show today, Byron. I think the listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching making money as an entrepreneur in real estate with your rentals. So let's dive into all of that.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. First off, for those who may not be familiar with you and your world, can you just give the short version of what your main focus is these days?
I am focusing on short-term and long-term rental, primarily single-family dwellings, duplexes, multifamily, but no more than 4 units.
And what markets are you operating in?
In the Dallas, Texas DFW market.
Amazing. Yeah, can you share how you got started on this journey?
Well, I am originally a general contractor, so I've been in the construction really most of my life. My father was in it, and I kind of grew up in it. And as I got older, I ended up starting my construction business about 20 years ago. And for the longest time, I just did mainly residential repair work. And as time came by, I guess I bumped into people that were in the world of real estate, and I came across a investor out of Australia that was wanting to invest in the market when the crash happened back in 2008. And we kind of hooked up in the sense that he needed some eyes on the ground here to identify properties. And, so he basically hired me as a consultant in the sense that Um, he would give me let's just say he gave me $1 million and he says, Byron, I want you to turn this $1 million into rentals. So I started off by finding, good deals, primarily houses that needed a lot of work. And obviously we were able to buy them at a huge discount. We would rehab them and then we would put them on the market as rentals. And eventually the portfolio performed the way they hoped to. And they ended up giving me more money. I ended up expanding into other states. And that's basically where my lessons in real estate opened. And I was very fortunate that I was able to learn and make mistakes on someone else's dime. So in a way, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. Sounds like it. Can you expand on some of those mistakes that you made and those lessons that you learned from them?
Well, I think that one of the most important lessons is don't ever trust the information that you get, in the sense that, for example, one of the things that is very important when you buy an investment property is you got to know what it's really worth. And,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
If for some reason you're dealing with, most of the time you have to deal with local real estate agents. Well, one thing that I've learned is that not all real estate agents are the same. Some of them may give you, estimates of what they think it's worth, but some of them don't understand the market. Some of them have all other ulterior motives. I mean, if they think that if they can tell you that this house is worth this, and because they're trying to sell it for X amount, and you believe them, well, guess what? Their seller won and the agent won, but at the end of the day, you may be holding something that you thought was worth something, and it really wasn't. So I would say the biggest lessons that I've learned in this business is don't trust all the information that you get, and always confirm that information with other sources that are independent of each other.
Yeah, that's some important advice. So, what has been the key to keeping your rental business running smoothly?
Um, as a contractor, I kind of have an eye for design. So one of the things that I do that's probably different from most investors is that I buy properties that are already trashed out. I mean, in other words, I buy the stuff that nobody wants. One of the benefits to that is that you can remodel it for what I call tenant-proof properties. In other words, you do the rehab, you put in the flooring and the painting and the lighting that will last for more than a cycle. And in the sense, what I mean by a cycle is a year lease. One of the things I learned that if you have a property that is nice, clean, and in good condition, most of the time you're going to attract a better quality renter. And the beauty of it is that those renters will always pay you on time. And then on top of that, they'll stay there for 5, 10 years. I've had tenants in my properties that, I had one property that I had for 10 years and I had the same tenant, all because when they moved in, it was in pristine condition. So, there's this kind of a term called slumlords. Well, the slumlord business works for the type of clientele that you look for. Me personally, I want someone who's going to pay their rent. I want someone who's going to take care of the property. Most of the time, if you provide a high quality product, you'll get a better quality client. And I think that's kind of the key to everything. The other thing is that when something goes wrong, if a tenant needs something fixed, fix it. Don't play games with them. Don't give them the runaround. Don't lie to them. Just be straight up business. That's just kind of the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah, that is so important. A lot of the people listening to this maybe are earlier on in their investing journey, or they're looking for some tips to level up. So, is there any sort of advice you would give to someone that's just starting out?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So, a lot of the listeners are earlier on in their investing journey. Maybe they're new or they're looking for some advice to level up. Is there any sort of tips that you can offer for people that are just starting out on their journey?
I would say, first of all, is real estate investment is risky. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I know that you see on TV, they make it sound like it's so easy to invest, but the reality is that it isn't. You need money. I don't know very many places out there that will finance a property for you and provide you with all the rehab expenses that you need without you putting in some skin in the game. So I would say that for people out there that are getting into this business, you're going to see a lot of people that say, hey, you can buy this, no money, blah, 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 blah. We'll finance everything. They'll promise you the moon and the stars. But the reality is that all that will come at a cost. So for example, most first-time investors are going to go through a hard money lender. Hard money lender doesn't care who you are as an individual. All they care about is the property. And a lot of hard money lenders are set up for you to fail because it's in their best interest for you to them to lend you the money and put you in terms that are going to cause you to fail, because at the end of the day, they're going to take it from you and they're going to resell it, and all the work you've done is gone. I mean, that's the reality. So I would say do your research, number one. Also, pay attention to the cost of the money. I mean, look at it like this. If you're paying 10 to 12% interest rate and they charge you 2 points and they charge you, $2,500 in processing fees, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to cash flow, number one. Number two, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be putting money out of your pocket every month to service the debt. So what I'm saying is that for the people out there that want to do this game and don't have money to put into it, buyer beware, because you'll be surprised how many phone calls I get from hard money lenders. Say, hey, Byron, this guy didn't perform. We foreclosed on the property. Why don't you go finish it up for us? And, you'll be surprised how many calls I get like that. And you go in there and you see what they've done. They had no idea what they were doing. They went the cheap way. They didn't address the major issues. And that's a recipe for disaster. So the second lesson is know what you're looking at. Know what you're fixing.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
If you're going to rent a property, it has to be habitable, period, in the story. So if you have plumbing leaks, water leaks, roof leaks, that's going to cause you problems. You got to fix them. And if you don't have the money to fix it, don't buy it. Simple.
Yeah, that is some good advice. I know that you are really into long-term and short-term rentals versus other forms of investing. Can you expand on why you chose those routes?
Well, I mean, long-term rentals, for me as an independent business owner, are great tax shelters in the sense that, you buy a property for $100,000, you put $20,000 in it, and then you put it for rent. Well, you have a lot of deductions that you can take that will reduce a lot of your taxes, in the sense that the income that's taxed, if you have ways of of um, showing those as expenses, at the end of the day, most rentals are not something that you're going to make money from every month. They don't, because if you do it smartly, you're going to show a loss because that's where all of your tax incentives comes from. So the key to rental is to not show on a tax return positive cash flow. There's a big difference between what goes on a tax return and what goes on a P&L sheet. They're completely different. At the end of the day, you want to manage your investments to have a little bit of a loss, or a big loss, however you want to take it. There are some people that take their rehab money and they take it all the same year, and there are considerable tax liability reductions. But sometimes it's best not to take it all. Maybe you can spread it out over a few years. I mean, there's so many ways that you can use rentals as a way to reduce your taxable income, and not necessarily for you to make a monthly check, because at the end of the day, you want to reduce that to nothing. Where you're going to make the money is in the long-term hold. Like, for example, I bought a property in 2019, paid $130,000 for it, put, $30,000 in it, rented it for, a number of years, and, I sold it earlier this year for $300,000. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you're not going to make the money immediate. That's the reason why they call it a long-term investment. The goal for a long-term investment is to get a tenant in there that's going to service the debt. Period. That's the goal. If you can get a little money in your pocket, great. Just take that money and you apply it towards your principal balance. Don't put it in your pocket, because any money you keep becomes taxable. So my strategy has always been, whatever the property produces, I'm going to put it back on the property, put it back on expenses, putting it back on something that takes it out of my hands. And then at the end of the day, when I decide to purge, which is usually, my strategy is about 5 to 7 years, depending on the market. Then you sell it. And if you don't want to pay tax on capital gains, so you can do a 1031 exchange, and you can take that money, you can buy another property and do the same thing. At the end of the day, you want to push down the tax bill further down the road as much as you can. That's my strategy.
Yeah, that's so smart. Thank you for sharing that strategy with everyone. So let me ask you this. What are you most focused on solving or scaling next?
I mean, at the end of the day, I would love to, scale my rental business. I mean, when I did it with the investors, we got up to 100 properties, but obviously I don't have that kind of money to do it. But my goal is to scale it as much as I can. Right now, I'm 53 years old, and based on my long-term plan, if I do everything the right way, when I qualify for retirement at 62, I'm going to take it and I'm going to live off of the rewards of my rentals. Basically look at it like this. I want to create as many revenue streams as possible so that as I get older, I can live off of my revenue streams and not have to work as much. Because I mean, let's face it, my mother worked until she was 70 years old. I don't want to be that way. I want to enjoy my life. And I think the best way to do it is through real estate. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think that's quite valid. Absolutely. So, what is like the biggest goal that you say you have for your business?
At the end of the day, I'm not trying to be a billionaire. I just want to be able to create enough wealth so that I can enjoy my life as best I can, but at the same time, have a legacy to pass down to my family.
That's beautiful. I love that. So, when it comes to growing your business and your network, what has made the biggest difference for you?
I would say at the end of the day, the partners that you associate yourself with, like for example, I buy and sell real estate really on a monthly basis. So I align myself with real estate agents that understand what I do for a living, that understand what my criteria is. And at the same time, I expect the realtors that I work with to go out and look at the property before I do and tell me what they see. And based on what they see, what they think they can either rent it for or sell it for, or whatever information I need. So what I'm saying is that if a real estate agent is just going to tell you, hey, here's the address, go look at it, you don't need that. Make the real estate agents work for their money because they're going to get paid regardless. So make them earn it. And I think I do that. And it's same thing with property managers. Property managers, I don't ever advise anyone to manage their own rental property because, there's a lot of, I don't know how it is in other states, but in Texas, there's risks. So you have to have someone who knows what they're doing. So again, the alliances that you build, the people that you work with are very important. And at the same time, it needs to be kind of like a mutual beneficial relationship. Not just, hey, I wrote a contract for you, I'm going to get a commission. No, they got to do more than that. And because there's thousands of agents that are like that. You got to find those ones that are willing to work. In my experience, what I've learned, most of the time, if you find a hungry new agent, those are the ones you want. Because they're trying to establish themselves. And then you're going to go through a whole lot of them, but eventually you'll find them. I probably, and as far as the new agent pool, heck, I might speak to 4 or 5 of them a week, but it doesn't mean that they ever produce anything. They do every now and then, but it's not consistent. But at least you have a constant flow of information. And that's what I'm saying is the more people you work with, the better. I have a rule with every agent that if you find me the property and I buy it, when I sell it, I'll let you list it, or I'll let you do the lease part of it. In other words, they have something to gain from it. So I don't have any favorite agents. My philosophy is you bring me the deal and then I'll pay you back by you're going to earn a commission when I buy it, but you'll also earn a commission when I sell it or when I rent it. So it is a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's basically what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's so important. Relationships are everything in this space. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, collaborate with you, where is the best place for them to find you?
You can reach out to me by email, byron@freshhomerepair.com.
Perfect. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time, story, and perspective. We need more people in this space doing things in this right way. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.